Education, Health, and Fitness Unit Plan for Low Levels ELD and SPED students, grade level 9 through 12, with the majority of my students being freshmen. This unit meets the Common Core standards for language arts, science, and ST technology standards. 90% of my students are Spanish-speaking students who have no English background or very limited. Majority of them have never been to school in their life, and in this case would be their first English language class. We are using the Longman Keystone textbook for our lesson. In this book, there are many lessons with only a few that incorporate technology, let alone touch on the multiple intelligencies. I took it upon myself to incorporate them because there was not much of a background on my students and their multiple intelligencies. However, after doing a lot of surveys in my classroom, I realized that a lot of these students do have these multiple intelligencies, and it is my job to bring them out. The 8 multiple intelligencies, visual, spatial, verbal, linguistic, logical, mathematical, kinesthetic, musical, interpersonal, and naturalist, have all been used in my unit plan that I have for my students, as well as the web depth of knowledge. This unit covers health and fitness, food, and exercise. In this unit, students will learn how to pronounce, use new vocabulary from this unit. The first part of this will hit the visual, interpersonal, and verbal learners. They will look at body parts, identify them, and also learn how to say the words of the body. Students will also know how to write and spell the body parts that they identify. The following has logistics, visual, verbal, and interpersonal intelligencies for my students. They will observe the graphs and be able to tell calorie intake based off of exercise and food. The following hits the verbal, visual, kinesthetic, and logic interpersonal as well. They will take what they've learned in the beginning and apply it to the body parts, as well as the food pyramid that they will learn. This will hit my visual, logical, interpersonal learners. These learners will visualize the food pyramid and be able to identify which foods go into which section. The unit continues on with the chart where the students must identify what they've eaten and which part of the food pyramid it comes from. This will also be part of the multiple intelligencies. The following apps will be able to be used by the students so that they can represent and showcase what they've learned throughout the unit. MyFitnessPal is one that can take their caloric intake as well as their exercise that they've done throughout the day, and they'll be able to identify the foods that they ate, what was good for them, and what was bad for them. iMovie is another representation tool they can use to present what they've learned in this unit. They will find images on Google, and they will be able to put that in iMovie and present it to the class. This is great for my musical, verbal, and visual learners as well. Is another tool that they can use for their technology. This is great for kinesthetic, visual, verbal, interpersonal users as well. They will use this tool to represent what they've learned throughout the unit. This concludes my unit on health and fitness. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video.